'82, I was 17, my old man was 55. If you do the math between the two of us, that's 72 years alive. An eternity, so it seemed to me. How could anything live that long? Now I say my folks were only 84 the year that they passed on. For a little while it seems you got time to choose your dreams. Pretty soon you look around and you see 100 years ain't what it used to be. And my grandpa Roy, when he was a boy in 1904, he was taught by men who fought in the actual Civil War. And only 8 decades passed and my high school class put the tassels on the other side. Started on our way full of naivete on the great American ride. The months and years slide past, each more quickly than the last. Pretty soon you look around and you'll see 100 years ain't what it used to be. Oh, got it!
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Johnny, hey! Oh, yeah!
He did the guitar face.
Ibuprofen's under buy again in my online shopping cart. Every week I learn of something else I should be doing for my heart. If I use the wrong pillow, I might have trouble getting out of bed. My hair grows in my ears and nose now more than on my head. As a kid, to me, ancient history was something like World War I. But I arrived close to that time and this year as I sing this song. And I'm starting to find I can wrap my mind around life is brief and dear. I can hardly believe my baby girl's turned 26 this year.
Whoa.
For a little while it seems you got time to choose your dreams. Pretty soon you look around and you'll see everybody 100 years ain't what it used to be. Before you know it, you're 63, making plans for Medicare A and B. You look around yourself and you see 100 years ain't what it used to be.
Settle you down and straighten you out, the investment business.
Joe,
Yeah.
we're rolling.
Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic podcast number 1621. I think that's right, isn't it, boys? Yeah, it is.
Counting
September
on
No,
7th.
1621.
I did say that.
Yeah, 1621.
Oh, I thought you said 7.
September 17th, 2025. 96 degrees was the record high on this day. That was back in 1895. And it was 34 degrees on 2 occasions, 1875 and 1943. Do yourself a favor and call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Height in the newsroom, and of course, the Rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
How to clean her up before, bro.
But it's not before. It's not during.
I turned my mic off. Oh.
No one leads the league in mic violations like our buddy the
100%.
Matthew.
I know.
Matthew the rookie.
Say there's an urgent development in the DFL party in Minnesota. By the way, I want to say hello to all our listeners in Bat Cave, North Carolina, Butternut Bend, Vermont, and Apocalypse Peaks, Antarctica.
Nice.
Wow.
Because podcasts go around the world. And we have listeners in Bat Cave, Butternut Bend, and Apocalypse Peaks.
I met a stewardess, a flight attendant from Delta, who approached me and said, "Are you the rookie?" My husband's been a fan forever. He used to be a lineman in Antarctica. Ooh. I said, that is a really cool gig.
Is that the end of the story?
Well, how many linemen do you know from Antarctica?
I only know
I told
one.
him to call Mishki.
You can't put me on hold. I'll put you on hold. I am a lineman for the county.
A big urgent problem in the Democratic Party. We have, you have a lot of Democrats in Minnesota demanding action now. After a recent DFL feminist caucus meeting, reportedly saw repeated misgendering.
Repeated?
Yes. Oh, there were disapproving eye rolls and suggestions by some attendees that people just don't understand the feminist movement. This is your DFL. These are supposedly the sane ones. This isn't even the DSA. This is the DFL. Those allegations were issued in a letter signed by more than 1,200 Democrats, including state legislators, city councilors, and DFL party officials. Mayoral candidate Omar Fateh and Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty were among the signatories.
Okay.
According to the letter, the DFL Feminist Caucus met last week for their annual meeting. The caucus, which supports candidates who will champion women in office, gathered to elect new caucus officers and conduct other business. However, the meeting saw repeated misgendering of a non-binary member. Oh. Misgendering of a trans woman member running for a leadership position, and eyeballs and eye rolls and other visible or audible signs of disapproval or annoyance when members were reminded to use someone's correct pronouns. Do you think the DFL is suffering some intramural dissension?
I think there might be some ripples.
There's two ways to approach this. Either we're never going to recover from this and it's getting worse, or this is where everything turns around. This is the beginning of
I like that.
The state and the country going the other way.
I mean,
back
when
to sanity.
When you think of the problems that face this state, misgendering is very low on the list.
Well, it depends on who you are. Yeah. Are you a he, him, she, her, or other?
Additionally, leaders of the caucus reportedly suggested that newer or younger members in the meeting do not have a feminist agenda or do not understand the feminist movement, seemingly based only on their newness to the caucus, age, gender, or pronouns. Never mind the potholes. At that meeting, several transgender and non-binary candidates were reportedly running for leadership roles. None of them were elected. The letter further alleged that there are other incidents that suggest a pattern of transphobic behavior within the DFL. Outside this caucus, those include misgendering at a separate meeting and attendees of the Minneapolis DFL convention being directed towards the incorrect bathroom. No, Kenny, I'm sorry. I desperately want to believe your angle. Mine is that this is the end of the world. We're at the end. If this is what politics has come to in this godforsaken state, then we're at the end. People were asked to leave the women's bathroom.
Come on.
In turn, more than 1,000 Democrats are asking the statewide DFL to denounce the alleged behavior, decertify the Feminist Caucus as a DFL affiliate, suspend officials within the party, provide training to the Feminist Caucus leadership on the concept of intersectional feminism.
Yes.
And the appropriate use of gender pronouns.
I think that because they are openly misgendering, rolling their eyes, and going, I think that's a sign that the DFL is splitting.
You have audio from this meeting, don't you?
If we want to defeat capitalism, we are going to need a party that will organize working people to fight for the demands that we want and to win socialism. Thank you so much.
Quick
Point of privilege. Quick point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Guys, first of all, James Jackson, Sacramento, he, him. I just want to say, can we please keep the chatter to a minimum? I'm one of the people who's very, very prone to sensory overload. There's a lot of whispering and chatter going on. It's making it very difficult for me to focus. Please, can we just, I know we're all fresh and ready to go, but can we please just keep the chatter to a minimum? It's affecting my ability to focus. Thank you.
Thank you, comrade.
Thank you,
Okay,
comrade.
is there a speaker against
This is
name,
our-
chapter, pronoun?
Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Okay. Sorry.
Wow.
Are you a Simpsons character?
Yes.
That's a funny voice.
Play the opening.
South Park.
Play the opening woman again.
If we want to defeat capitalism, we are going to need a party that will organize working people to fight for the demands that we want and to win socialism.
I know what you're going to
Thank you
say.
so much.
Audio separated. Oh, I thought you were going to say audio separated at birth.
From who?
AOC.
Oh, not bad.
Ooh, almost.
No, my
Yeah,
question to
pretty
her
close.
is,
Okay,
look,
okay.
lady, if you want to end capitalism and install socialism, why would I even work?
Right.
She's appealing to the workers.
Many do not.
Yeah. That was live from the tournament.
If we want to defeat capitalism, we are going to need a party that will organize working people to fight for the demands that we want and to win socialism.
A
Thank you so
DFL
much.
activist named Dex Anderson is also filing a complaint against members of the DFL Feminist Caucus for the actions alleged in the aforementioned letter. A self-described non-binary person, Anderson ran for vice chair of the DFL Feminist Caucus but did not win.
I looked up Dex, by the way.
Yeah.
Dex has their own website.
Oh.
Let me describe Dex's own description of.
No, I
never know
can't
what to
say male or female, can I? Because he's it is non-binary.
Yeah, Dex Anderson, he wrote this. Formerly Diana E. Anderson is the author of 4 books. They have 2 master's degrees, one from Baylor University, MA in English, and one from the University of Oxford, an MST in Women's Studies. They are non-binary and queer and live in Minneapolis, Minnesota with their 2 cats.
Wait a minute. There's 2 of them?
Well, no, there's one.
Well, you kept saying they.
They prefer
that's
the
their pronoun.
pronoun.
Kenny, could you please be sensitive
I
to
think
that?
Kenny knows
Kenny.
that. He's just
Point of privilege.
Meow, 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 meow.
Oh. Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a
Kenny,
minute.
you got me.
Wait a minute.
It was fun.
Wait a minute.
Yes,
Check
sir.
this out.
Cats are introduced.
You mean to tell me that this is actually a DFL problem? That people are seriously concerned about how they're referenced at a meeting?
If that is concerned, we're
Because we have, you got a crooked governor who's a thief and should be in jail. However, allegedly. You've got a tax problem in this state. You've got employment problems in this state. This is a problem with the DFL?
When and who will be the first DFL adult that will stand up and say that out loud? That's what the DFL needs. Somebody to say, listen, children, shut up.
I bet you're all thinking that, oh, there he goes. There he goes
there he
again.
goes again.
Misgendering.
There he
Dancing
goes
through
again.
my brain.
Wait,
When we have such a meanie as president, I have
Meaniest?
some Trump comments. Yeah,
you have often been described by people outside of the Garage Logic circuit. You were referred to, I think, one time as the speed bump, other
Yes.
things like that.
Oh, that's right.
Can you be now referred to as the misgenderer?
I'd be glad to be.
Misgender.
You're a climate denier.
You are a denier.
I am. proud
Speed bump.
No, I'm not. See, that's a misnomer because I don't deny that the climate changes.
But they accuse you.
I
of
deny that it's changing because of the feminist caucus.
Yeah, you can't defend yourself when Joe. When you're accused of something, you just have to go with it because once it's said out loud, it's just taken as the general truth.
I remember one time I was thinking it'd be neat to be on Nixon's enemies list. He had an enemies list, and everybody who wasn't on it was kind of disappointed.
Right.
And,
it's like Sid with Bernie Madoff.
Yeah, exactly. And now Trump is targeting the radical left, and he's naming names, and he wants to shut down dissension in speech, which is just as bad as anything the other side's doing. In fact, it's preposterous. But now it kind of makes me want to be on that list, because that'd be kind of a badge of honor,
okay,
wouldn't
badge
it?
of honor.
Yeah. So he's in England right now. He's being squired about by the king and
with the first
queen.
lady.
I saw him in the carriage.
Yeah.
I would love to be a little mouse for that small talk, huh?
I can't imagine what it would be like.
How they're so different characters.
Thank you. I agree.
What about Camilla and
they're different
the first
characters
lady?
too.
Yeah, they are.
Well, that's very unkind.
I'm talking about the horses pulling the carriage.
But Trump, you moron, you can't do this. It's just as bad as. Now, granted, it's not shooting anybody, but it's metaphorically the same thing. You can't. Thank you. Thank you.
Disturbing part of that also, Joe, is that his attorney general is,
Yeah, well, Pam
glove
is going to
there.
just do what she's told.
Exactly.
So, but it's ridiculous. Let me point out to you why it's ridiculous. Because it is.
Thank you.
Because I said so.
Thanks, Rook. Yep. Appreciate it. Glad I could help.
At some point, a lot of people in charge, politicians, they stop having close friends that'll pull them aside and say, "Listen, dummy."
Well, he's long ago reached that point, apparently.
There's so many in office now that have reached that point.
And all of the Trump aficionados in the audience. If you got to stop and think about this one. Are you going to write me an email and telling me Trump's wise to do this? You're only asking how long before your gore is oxed. Or what?
Your ox is gored, I think.
Your
Joe.
ox is
Like
gored.
the other way around.
Yeah. That's it.
Maybe that's what he needs. Emails from constituents.
He doesn't
supporters.
listen to anybody. You could get his ear and say, Don, I think you're making a big mistake with this. And he'd say, no, I'm not.
You just misgendered that ox.
I did, probably. I don't know what the female would be.
What would it be?
Axe.
Foxy ox.
Axe?
Foxy ox.
Ox, eh?
Okay, thank you. Boy, that's the DFL.
Time flies, doesn't it?
A female ox is just simply called a cow.
We've never had an ox on at the state fair, have we?
Believe it or not, I think we have.
Well,
I really do.
The Scottish cow we just had by the
Well, they're
wonderful.
That's not an ox. That's
It's
a
called-
You've been on the
beautiful,
show. Don't you pay attention to
beautiful Scottish Highland cow.
An ox is specifically a castrated male bovine that has been trained for draft work, such as pulling a plow or cart.
Yeah.
Therefore, the female equivalent of a castrated male working animal is simply a cow, a mature female bovine that has had at least one calf.
Sure.
There you go.
Well,
He
the
says it
cow
like
that
he's
we
paid.
had this year had the calf with her.
The Scottish cow.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, very
cow.
nice.
They have nice hair. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
beautiful hair.
Yeah, beautiful hair. Say, our friends at the American Experiment want to solve a problem for you because they think, and God bless them because we don't have anybody else in this state who's doing much of that. Education is failing in this state. That's among Governor Walz's failures, but we have a year to set that up, so that's not. Half the kids in this state can't read or do math at their grade level. That's pathetic. It's seriously pathetic. And we've tried the same old things because you hear the same old begging every year. Well, if only we had more money. Well, that obviously isn't the answer. Well, we need more administrators then. That isn't the answer. American Experiment has dreamed up a program called 7K for Kids. That gives you, the parents, $7,000 per child per year, control of your own money to choose the best education for your kid. Public, private, charter, homeschool, whatever works for you. And yes, I said public. That's in the mix. You can get a great education at a public school if you're a sharp set of parents.
Of course you can.
Learn more at 7kforkids.com or americanexperiment.org.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Souchere.
I guess I'm ready, but I have to admit I am nervous. I'm nervous because I'm not sure I can convey how excited and pleased I am with these hooks from GatorMagnetics.com. We're welcoming them back this week. A full few bullet points I want to talk to you about with this crazy product. And I say it's crazy because these things they're strangely strong magnetic hooks. I wasn't ready for that. It's a whole new world with Gator Magnetics. They have almost 100 patents behind these magnets, and they're built to hold up to 45 pounds. You can order the 45 pounders on thin steel surfaces. Anything that's steel, you can put them on. That means you can trust Gator Magnetics to handle the heaviest tools and equipment you have. I put a sandblasting pod on one. That hook didn't move. And it's a whole wide variety of different hooks, doubles, looped, long, short. When you order from GatorMagnetics.com, be specific about which hooks and how many you need so you know the capacity. Oh, and always when you're ordering, be sure to use the code GL20. There's limitless storing solutions with these. You can use them on steel wall panels or any steel surface. If it's steel, it's a place for a Gator hook. It's that simple. Doors, toolboxes, cabinets, vans, pole barns, you name it. And if you need steel, they offer the kit. You can order their steel panels, very thin, 16-inch on center, so you can hang them on your sheetrock and use them anywhere. It's very flexible, very handy, very easy. Move those hooks and baskets around with ease. You're going to love these things. I know I really, really love mine. I need more. GatorMagnetics.com. Look for the GL, the Garage Logic bundles, and be sure to use that GL20 for a discount. That's GatorMagnetics.com, code GL20.
Our governor has, with more than a year to go, has already released his first campaign video. Is that an accurate statement?
He released the video yesterday morning, to the best of my understanding.
And you have some information from Rep. Harry Niska.
Yeah, our buddy Harry Niska said he had that same video, which is about 2 minutes long, but he said, Well, here's what Governor Tim Walz's announcement video would say if he were actually being honest about the situation in the state of Minnesota.
Right.
I've been to every corner of Minnesota, and there's nothing like it.
See those maps? Red and blue, and there's all that red across there, and Democrats go into depression over it. It's mostly rocks and cows that are in that red area.
I've seen how we help each other through the hard times.
But I've not been perfect, and I'm a knucklehead at times.
But it's in these moments we have to come together.
I called Donald Trump a wannabe dictator. You bully the shit out of him.
And I'll never stop fighting to protect us from the chaos, corruption, and cruelty coming out of Washington.
Well, maybe it's time for us to be a little meaner.
May his fat ankles find something today.
We do not have the luxury to fight amongst ourselves while that thing sits in the White House.
We can't lose hope, because I've seen what we can do when we work together.
Think of how easy it would be to be a damn Republican. Oh, what should I wear today? This stupid freaking red hat.
Cutting taxes for the middle class.
However, there are also taxes going up for most Minnesotans,
while also making the largest investments in public safety.
One of the few tweets we've had from any kind of official source tonight, and in my opinion, that is inexcusable. We have reached out to the governor, to the mayor of St. Paul, to the mayor of Minneapolis, both police chiefs. We are getting no response tonight.
We've raised graduation rates to the highest ever.
Most Minnesota students are falling behind state standards in math, and only about 50% of students are proficient in reading.
Crack down on fraud and protect our tax dollars.
Bribes, falsified records, and taxpayers charged to help dead people find housing.
Thousands of dollars for work that's not being done.
Fake meetings.
They just billed us for nothing.
Forged names.
I did not sign this legal document.
Homeless veterans.
I never met any of these people.
Dead people billed. Phantom services.
For that $14,000, you got what?
Nothing.
Now I'm hitting the road to listen to you and talk about our future.
What's wrong is our country's being stole by fascists and Nazis, and we're trying to do all we can to try and do that.
He is so disappointing.
Bravo, Harry Niska. That was a very good.
But you know what was charming about that? It's Minnesota. We're kind of tucked away here, and if you really did that professionally, you'd have one of those bits where there wouldn't be a change in the volume. You'd have Walls talking.
Seamless. Yes.
Walls act. Somebody would have to put together Walls' words to do what. That never mind.
You know what struck me too about when I saw that video?
What am I trying to say?
I think I can help you. In all seriousness, last night when I watched that video for the first time, it struck me that this boob has no chance of ever getting elected. We saw it last November, so he knows this is it. This is where he's going to peak, right, as the governor of Minnesota,
he's
because
exhausted any opportunity to go national.
And we're the only ones and Alpha are the only ones that truly go after him from a media standpoint. So he thinks, well, I just got to swindle these knuckleheads again, and then I'll get elected governor once more.
And then we have WCCO radio.
Oh, they're I don't know where they stand. But let me finish by
I do. No, you have to tell everybody what you told us off the air.
I was listening to the afternoon show yesterday, hoping for a weather forecast, I guess. And it's Jason DeRusha. Is that his name?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was taking calls from people
regarding
Walz's announcement that he's running again. I only heard 2 calls, but they both thought Walz was doing a great job. And
he's
all I could think is,
knees.
only thing I could think is how terribly uninformed those people were.
Well, when he's on with Vanita, he's so cute.
Yeah. Let me get back to what I was saying. What I'm saying is,
what are you saying?
Sharper technology would result. You've seen these things on Twitter where Nancy Pelosi is talking, and yet it's just swear words that come out of her mouth and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's monotone. It's
somebody does that. Is that AI or something?
Well, that's the one we played a couple of weeks ago that had Amy Klobuchar. Same thing.
There's one now. It's blasphemous. I'm not going to play it on the air. There's one now, though, of the Pope talking. Who's the coach of the Bears? No, coach of Notre Dame. Who's the coach of Notre Dame?
That's your guy, Freeman. Something Freeman.
Well, it's the coach talking to the Pope about how they got robbed in the Texas A&M game, and the Pope is just vile as hell, and it's just
Marcus Freeman,
and it's funny, but you can't.
I think the way it is
He's on-
proves
you
it's
leave him
real.
alone.
That's voodoo.
Yeah, you leave him alone.
Joe, the way it is proves that it's real, and you don't have to worry about going, is this AI?
Yeah.
I like the way it's put together.
Let's turn our attention to something I've been doing a lot of thinking about in the last 24 hours. You know a fellow in Minneapolis named Hamoudi Sabri. He's a Palestinian by birth, and he's an entrepreneur and property owner in Minneapolis. And he is successfully making homelessness the principal topic of the, well, he doesn't even say the words mayoral election, but he has successfully made homelessness, in my estimation, the principal topic or focus of the Minneapolis mayoral election. It was on his property the other night that we had 8 people shot.
Right.
He was allowing people to camp in the parking lot of a vacant building he owns off Lake Street. And the Sahan Journal has done a nice job, written by Shubhanjana Das. 5 things to know about Hamoudi Sabri. And I was thankful for this piece because I don't know a lot about him. He's 62 years old. He was born on the West Bank.
Okay.
He's the youngest of 10 kids.
Wow.
And he moved to the Kenwood neighborhood of Minneapolis when he was 15, and he inherited his father's real estate business in 1990 when he was in his 20s. He's got 3 daughters. He owns multiple commercial and residential properties across the city under Downtown North Loop LLC and M&S Properties LLC. His eldest daughter, Samrina Sabri, is going to take a role as chief financial officer in his businesses. Sounds like a go-getter, doesn't it?
Yeah.
His brother, Basim Sabri, owns Sabri Properties LLC, which is associated with Carmel Mall, Plaza Mexico, and Yusuf Corner. Earlier this year, Basim Sabri faced mortgage foreclosures on 2 Sabri properties, meaning Basim Sabri. It turns out he had failed to pay $530,000 in required repairs. And Sabri Basim, he wants to develop a hospital on the West Bank. That's one of his goals. Or maybe it's Mahmoud who wants to do that.
The West Bank here in Minneapolis or West Bank overseas?
I think, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. He said that he grew up in rubble for a month or so, and then they moved here. He said his dad was a rich, wealthy man, but they had no money. I guess I know what he means. The
House
memory,
poor? Is that what that means?
I know. The memory shapes how he views the way unhoused people are routinely moved around in the city. He owns a property on North 5th Street in the North Loop. He opened a homeless encampment there in 2021. And he said he chose the site because it was a majority white neighborhood. So I think he loved to give people the needle, maybe. Towards the end of that year, Sabri invited the people who were sleeping on the sidewalk to stay on his property. Mayor Fry did not respond to his request for a meeting to discuss the issue. He said that was only short term while the city gets it done right, but he is constantly hectoring Fry and saying Fry cannot handle this. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's got to go. So I'm getting to my theory here. It's just taking
You're
a while.
building on it.
I'm trying to. After several attempts to clear that north side encampment, the city finally removed the residents in March 22 because there were drug overdoses, fires, garbage on the site. Then in July this year, Mahmoudi Sabri, decided enough is enough and welcomed the homeless people to set up camp on this Lake Street, just off Lake Street. It's beside the University Academy Charter School. And this started up another hassle and a tussle with the city. And Sabri tells us he's exasperated with the way the city handles homelessness. And he is particularly angry with Fry. He wants to do what he wants to do, and he's got some of the lousiest, most unqualified people working in his office, Sabri said. He's got to go. I am one of the first people who built this city. Now, I don't know where Sabri gets that idea. This city was here a long, long time ago, Mahmoudi. It's a beautiful city. I won't let him destroy it, meaning Fry. Fry called out the unsafe conditions at the site and said if he wants to sue us, he can. If he wants to take this up in court, that's his prerogative, but this is not safe. Sabri said he kept a close eye on the encampment, regularly visiting to check how many people were living there, the drug activity, and other nuisances. He hired a former occupant as manager of the site. They had 100 people there. And Sabri said, of course it's dirty. They're doing the best they can. Although the reason it's dirty is because the city made it dirty to eyesore them and make them look and make me look bad. Now Sabri faces 12 citations for creating a public health nuisance. And I get the feeling these fines don't financially mean a great deal to Sabri.
Seems like it.
It seems like that's petty cash, right? Because they're up to about $9,000, and that doesn't seem to be bothering him. And now he claims he's not looking to pick a fight with the city. I'm not here to bleep with the city. I'm here to make things happen. I'm fighting for a mission, and my mission is to get a system that's going to work. The system today is not working. So what Sabri was asked by the Sahan Journal, what is a system that will work? And he said he has a plan. The plan involves working with the county, the governor, attorney general to create a homeless shelter spanning a couple of thousand acres outside the city to deter drug activity, along with the clinic and mental health services. I believe my concept will work, and when they do it, I'm done. I'll shut my face. Okay. That's shades of me, half joking, but not really entirely joking, saying, why didn't they turn that meat building, or what did
fruit vegetables?
Fruit warehouse that Walls bought as a morgue, for God's sakes. Why didn't they turn that into mini apartments for the homeless? And, well, the answer is because I've been thinking a lot about the homeless, too. Rational, non-drug users probably are not homeless. Rational, non-drug users.
Okay.
No matter how down on the luck they might be, probably are not homeless.
Okay.
These homeless camps have become drug buying banks.
Right.
That's what they are.
Right.
You go there to get drugs. Mm-hmm. So Sabri says, well, let's build a campus on a couple of thousand acres. Okay, it sounds great. But the people don't want to get straight. They're drug addicts. So you have to get them to agree to take the treatment and become committed to sobriety. That's a big task. I don't know if Sabri has that in mind, but his plan is no better or worse than any other plan that's ever been spoken about. It's pie in the sky at this point.
But isn't it also something that is already in place with the various homeless shelters around the Twin Cities?
The reason I say every rational non-drug user is not homeless is because if you're that far down on your luck and you need a place to sleep, that's who's occupying those places to sleep. There are enough beds for everyone.
All you have to do is not use drugs.
You can't use drugs,
or
though.
drink in there.
So that keeps 100 people, living in filth and despair in the back of Sabri's building off Lake Street, because they don't want to be told they can't use drugs.
Right.
That's what they do. They're drug addicts. As an aside, I don't know why in God's name you'd be a homeless drug addict here. I would be one in Tampa.
It's probably a matter of getting there.
Yeah. Anyway, Sabri. Now, where am I in this? I don't know, but I get the feeling that Sabri is working on behalf of Omar Fateh. Now, for all I know, they don't even know each other. I'm not suggesting. What I'm suggesting is Sabree really has a bee in his bonnet about Fry. He doesn't like Fry. Yeah. I don't know if Fry has squashed some Sabree deals over the years, if he's interfered in some way that's prevented Sabree from making some more money. But he is really zeroed in on the fact that the homeless problem is Fry's fault. Okay. And that Fry has the wrong people working for him, and that Fry is not going to solve the homeless problem. And Sabree is saying, I will, but basically what he's saying is, I need better people to work with. Well, you can see Fateh playing right into this. Of course I'll be that person. Right. I'm not going to let that Fateh might as well even try to pass himself off as having concern, which he would not, of course. But he could say, I am really on Sabree's side on this, that we must do something about this, and I have compassion that we haven't seen in the mayor's office. And together I will work with Mahmoudi Sabree, and we will create that homeless campus, and we'll take care of the problem.
And Fateh,
which I think is all BS, but that's the game I think that's being played.
And Fateh will probably use Sabree, knowing full well he gets news cameras out there all the time.
Oh, Sabree has been terribly successful in making this almost a top lead story of the newscast the past week.
Yes.
Yeah, he's also fighting the city council.
Mm-hmm. So where this fits into the mayor's race, I'm struggling, but I can see it playing out that Sabree so urgently wants to be rid of Fry that he'd accept Omar Fateh. I don't know how he feels about Omar Fateh.
That's a pretty good bet.
If you want Sabree, why don't you try to get him on the air? Or maybe I'll ask this kid. Why don't you try to get Mahmoudi Sabree on the air? I'll give you the info in a minute. Let's get him on the air. I want to know where he stands on Fateh. He might say, I want nothing to do with him. Well, then who do you like for mayor? Well,
he just wants.
But there's something going on here that I think has other chapters attached to it. I don't think this is just Sabree and the homeless. I think Sabree is working on something here, and I can't really put my finger on it. But he wants rid of Fry. He just wants rid of Fry. And I continue to believe, given the choice, Fry is still a better choice than Omar Fateh.
Yes,
by
far.
But Sabree doesn't think so.
Searching for Fateh's approach to homelessness, I entered in what is Fateh's homeless program. In 2025, that's this year, March, he introduced a Senate bill aiming at speeding up the approval process for HSS, a Medicaid-funded program for the elderly and disabled poor. But
that was just somewhere to get fraud.
And an investigation found that Fateh's wife owns a housing stabilization company.
Yeah, that was engaged improperly.
Correct.
So Fateh is a fraudster. Sorry, that's just the way it is.
In Somali is better than Fry, though.
Well,
what?
His Somali is better than Fry.
You mean his accent?
His Somali spoken word.
Oh, was that a non sequitur?
Yeah.
In February of this year, Fateh posted on social media about the Red Road Village proposal. That was for culturally specific housing, healthcare, and services. And Fateh has voiced criticism of approaches that he claims criminalize poverty and remove services for unhoused people. So he's absolutely opposite of Fry on how it should be handled. So maybe your theory might be pretty close to the truth, but we don't know at this point, right?
There's a strong story thread that is running through this homelessness problem that has nothing to do with homelessness. That's my theory.
And it involves dollar signs, right?
It involves money. It involves Sabree. It involves who's going to end up being mayor. And
in all cases, follow the money. All cases.
I'm tired of this culturally appropriate housing BS. You're in America. The house has a roof. Mm-hmm. It has a door. It has windows. Okay? That's a house.
Sounds like white privilege to me.
His proposal for this 1,000 acres. 1,000 acres is a lot of acres. I don't know if you can picture it. It's about a mile long.
I can picture it because I do lake sizes by acres. I know damn well what
Walls,
1,000
Kenny
acres.
So give us a lake that's 1,000 acres.
Well, White Bear's 2,400, so about half a White Bear Lake.
Perfect. Yeah. So like you said, it has to be voluntary, and so you know what it's like trying to work through addiction. By day 3 of quitting, I'm buying cigarettes. I'm back at the liquor store. I'm justifying, just having one. It's
not the dream.
And then the alternative to that, Joe, is throwing up a fence and putting them in there against their will. Well, that's a concentration camp, and if they're not convicted of a crime, you can't do it.
There is no. You want to know the way it should be spoken about? There is no homeless problem. It's America. It's 2025. We live in a world. We live in a country of the poorest people in this country got 36-inch television sets and 2 cars. This is not a homeless problem. This is a drug addiction problem.
I'm going to agree with you to a point. There is a small degree, though, of they're just living in their car. They still have a job, but they don't have a
true
home.
Homeless,
and they won't be
working.
living in their car any longer than necessary.
I remember when we were talking about the 18 billion, asking how many homeless people could that 18 bill take care of. You'd wipe it out in the state. You'd wipe out homelessness in the state.
And if I was Fry, I would be fighting back against Sabri because Sabri's trying to undo him.
But what is Fry's solution?
I would say, if I was Fry, I would say, let's start calling this what it is. We don't have a homeless problem.
Oh, God,
we have a drug addiction problem.
Oh, you need a pair to say that publicly.
I keep waiting to think. I wish somebody should play this show for him. Somebody must be able to say, you got to listen to this.
Yeah.
These guys aren't necessarily opposed to you. You should listen to what they're saying. You got to develop a set of nuts here. This is pathetic.
Yep.
You're pathetic. You're blowing it is what you're doing.
Is there a case in the United States where the homeless problem has been solved? I keep thinking in my mind about that. What was the Seattle documentary? Seattle is lost. Seattle is
dying.
Seattle is dying.
Yeah. Has any city resolved their homeless?
No, because it's not a homeless problem. It's a drug addiction problem. That can't be solved unless you're willing to forego the drugs. Yeah, Reavers, I see it.
Do you?
Yeah. I keep talking just to drive Chris crazy.
What about that whole...
You and Matthew lead the league in that. There's no doubt about it.
What about that whole Minneapolis thing, though?
Matt, high five, buddy. High five.
Say, take advantage of this great weather and get a hold of Precision Door, either for a new door or a garage door tune-up. The new doors, really, yes, models for every budget. They send out a designer free of charge, increase the value of your home, save energy, better security. But if you're satisfied with your door, she's working fine, but she's making a little racket. You want to take care of that before winter. So Precision Door Minnesota has a noisy door tune-up special for $149. That special includes a 25-point safety inspection, diagnostic, full garage door tune-up, and rollers replaced with ultra-quiet rollers. As I said, that's a value close to $300. Get ready for winter. You don't want that garage door conking out on you when it's 10 or 20 below. Take care of the maintenance now on the door if you like your current door and she's great, or if you need a new door. Take care of that now before it's 20 below. Book online at Precision Door MN, one word, precisiondoormn.com, or call Precision Door at 612-263-6985 to schedule your free on-site new door estimate or the noisy door tune-up special. to go back on the air here.
Been a while, hasn't it?
Get my supplies, my lotto.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and he feels fine. Joe Souchere.
I'm also going to get my Awaken 180 weight loss and my lotto. Hey, here's the deal. Gamble on yourself to better health here at the end of 2025. It's a proven weight loss program that's built for absolutely anyone. Here's the deal. You eat to lose weight. It's a solution that's worked for over 800,000 people. There are absolutely no medications. There's no workouts required, and there's also no fasting. It's a clear daily plan. There's no complicated tracking or counting. They do, however, have a very neat mobile app that's going to track your progress with both weight loss and also burning fat and whatnot. It's one-on-one weekly coaching for accountability and adjustments. I had my check-in this morning with Emma, and you know what she said? Dummy, you can't add protein to that. You got to do it this way. And I went,
see?
Oh, yeah. That's why I screwed that one up. But that's what I like about this. It's built for any lifestyle, busy schedules, likes, dislikes. It's all adapted to you. You can still go on vacation. You can still go out. You can still tailgate. You can even still have a few drinks. It's thousands of recipes, and you know what? It does not feel like diet food. I'm eating throughout the day, and I'm never hungry. My energy level is up, and it's fantastic. So go online and check them out for yourself. It's Awaken180weightloss.com. 180. Awaken180weightloss.com, or call them today for that free consultation at 844-346-1800. Again, Awaken180weightloss.com. Please do me a favor and mention that you heard about them on the Garage Logic podcast.
Here is Mr. John Haidt in his Garage Logic podcast, Action Force Team 1500 Newsroom.
Thank you for that very lengthy introduction, Joe. This news is brought to you by North American Banking Company. Voters headed to the polls yesterday to determine control of the Minnesota House of Representatives. Former Brooklyn Park City Council member XP Lee won the special election in District 34B. Lee will fill the House seat held by the late Representative Melissa Hortman. With Lee's win, the House will return to a 67-67 tie after Republicans briefly held a one-seat edge. The district has long leaned Democratic, and Hortman had won re-election to the seat in November with 63% of the vote. Lee earned about 61% of the vote. Lee will serve the remainder of Hortman's term, which runs through next year.
John?
Yeah.
I spent a good 2 minutes trying to figure out how to pronounce XP this morning.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're just supposed to go with X and P.
Yeah.
XP Lee. Now, doesn't that sound like a motorcycle road racer name?
Yeah.
XP Lee.
Yeah, or a rally driver.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't tell on myself, Kenny, but when he first announced he was running, I went something like, Lee will run for that, because I didn't know. And then I saw it on the television news and realized it's
at one point I got really mad at XP Lee, thinking, why don't you just change your name to Bill?
Yeah. He must have thrown up a DFL sign, and that was all she took.
Right. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Minnesota State Senator Ann Rest, a DFLer from New Hope, said yesterday she will be retiring after more than 4 decades in the legislature. Rest was first elected to the House in 1984, served 8 terms until she was elected to the Senate in 2000, where she also served 8 terms. In 2002, she was elected to be an assistant majority leader, and in 2013, she was named Senate President Pro Tem. In 2023, she made history as the first and only Minnesota legislator to ever chair the Taxes Committee in both the House and Senate. Earlier this year, authorities revealed that Rest's New Hope house was one of the 2 other lawmakers' homes that Vance Belter had stopped at in between the shooting that injured Senator John Hoffman and his wife and the shooting deaths of Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark. Belter reportedly parked in the street in a black SUV by Rest's house. However, New Hope police had dispatched an officer to her home to check on her after the Hoffman shooting. The officer attempted to communicate with the man in the vehicle. He refused to respond. The officer went to check on Rest, and after determining she was okay, the officer came back out. The fake police car that Belter was in was gone.
Okay, stop right there.
Yes.
At that point, did he drive to Hortman's?
I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah, right
well,
after
that cop's got to be kicking himself in the butt, doesn't he? I mean,
I'm sure. Yeah.
God dang it.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Attorney General's office is asking a judge to order a local developer to pay $4.5 million in restitution for a housing development in Lakeville that was never built.
Was he a Somali?
He was.
Oh.
Remember, we did talk about this story, Nolosha Development.
Oh, yeah.
And its CEO, Abdullahi, previously promised 160 houses on about 40 acres of land specifically tailored to the needs of the Somali American community in the Twin Cities. But court records later revealed Nolosha never owned the land, which was previously purchased by a defendant in the Feeding Our Future fraud investigation. In July, Hennepin County Judge Christian Sandy found Abdullahi and Nolosha violated consumer fraud protection laws when they collected $25,000 pre-reservation fees from clients who wanted to reserve a unit in the development. Some of those clients included people like Muhammad Mahmoud. He testified in court at the evidentiary hearing on Tuesday. He said, if it was just my family, we would have just took the loss. But when I found out it's more than 100 families, I couldn't stand for that. They have nothing to show for it, and all their money is gone. Absent from court, Abdullahi, who vigorously denied allegations of fraud last year. In court, Judge Sandy described him as someone who clearly has committed fraud and now has disappeared.
Okay. I'm sorry, John. Finish. I thought you were done. I'm sorry.
Yeah. While the court decides on how much Abdullahi should be ordered to pay, families like Muhammad say they are not counting on being made whole.
Okay, if you break this down, what happened is this guy defrauded his brothers and sisters, convincing them he was going to build houses on land that he didn't own but was purchased with fraudulent money.
Correct.
So the whole thing is a fraud from start to finish.
As a result
the land was purchased by a food fraudster. This guy takes advantage of that because he probably thinks the food fraudster is going to jail. And he starts selling fake home sites in there to people. He puts $4.5 million in his pocket. He's gone. That's a hell of a group you got there.
Defrauding his own people.
He's defrauding his own kind.
It's like a double fraud.
Did you see the quote of one of the guys that is part of the
property
lawsuit?
that was fraudulently bought? Yes.
This guy his family lost $25,000, and whoever was the anchor said, "Are you mad?" And he said, "Well, I don't think I'll ever get the money back, but we worship Allah. If you do something in this life, you have to pay for it in the next life."
That was Mr. Mohammed, who I had talked about in the story.
Okay.
That was his
closing
comment.
You in the back?
Yesterday we talked about the mayor of Dearborn, Michigan.
Right.
And how the resident had said, I just don't think that that's a good idea that we rename a street. And he was labeled an Islamophobe and needs to get out of the city.
He's a racist and a bigot.
So if you defraud a bunch of Somalis, even though you are in fact Somali, does that then make you an Islamophobe?
No.
Is that different?
No, you just filed some wrong paperwork.
I see. Okay, so it's a different
nice
set of
double
rules.
standard, yeah.
A warrant has been issued for a woman's arrest in Wright County after it was discovered her child had taken a magic mushroom chocolate bar to school, ate some of it, and shared it with a classmate.
Where do you get those?
You make them.
You make them. You don't get them at the store.
39-year-old Cassie Torianen has a warrant out for her arrest on multiple felony charges. This all happened September 10th. Charging documents say police were called after an incident at Cokato Elementary School where a 6-year-old girl and another young child were showing signs of overdosing. Both children were taken to the hospital for treatment. It was later discovered the 6-year-old child, Turinen's daughter, had brought a Melt Magic mushroom chocolate bar from home, which contained 6 grams of mushrooms. Investigators believe she ate it while at school and gave some of the chocolate to the other child. Jeez. Authorities learned from the girl's father that Turinenen had the girl over at her apartment for the last 2 days.
Were these kids flying high or get sick or what happened?
Did they climb a tree and didn't come down for 12 hours?
According to court documents...
Apparently you guys have a lot of experience with these.
Apparently, yeah. According to court documents, when police searched her apartment, investigators discovered multiple items of drug paraphernalia and items that tested positive for methamphetamine and fentanyl, some of which were in areas where a child could be exposed to them. At this time, Turinenen has not been arrested. She is wanted on felony charges of child endangerment, storing meth paraphernalia in the presence of a child, and 5th-degree drug possession.
Can we go back to the fraudster for a moment in Lakeville who bought land purchased by a fraudster, who claimed he owned land purchased by a fraudster. That guy's missing. He has $4.5 million, and he's missing, right? So for all we know, he's in Africa, right? We don't know where he is.
Right. That's the way
Could they have pulled his passport as a result of him owing that money, or is that...
If he got out of here before the bleep hit the fan, he's fine.
Well, I have to admit, that's what I had been encouraging for a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe he graduated from my fraud class.
Yeah. In other words, get out quick.
Get out of town quick.
Yeah, don't stick around and milk it. Come on.
That story was from Channel 5 Investigates, and they apparently had been in contact with him in the past, and they said they tried to contact him, but he didn't respond.
He's gone.
One would assume he's
way
split, as they say. Why don't we take a quick break here? We'll be back with some national news after we hear from Mr. Olson.
Short, sweet, and concise. Listen to this one. Dear Kenny, happy to say I completed a Seafoam Grand Slam this weekend. Deep creep on the pruning shears, trans-tune in the Traverse, high mileage motor treatment in the Pontiac, and bugs be gone on everything. The best thing about Seafoam products, they are readily available and they actually work. Wonderful products in a world of bad gas, bugs, rust, etc., etc. Seafoam. Thank you, Josh, and thank you, SeafoamWorks.com.
The Earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
Yesterday, our buddy Mike Marcotte, he was giving a tour to some fellow TV potential advertisers. Guess what I showed them? This North American banking company graphic yesterday. And they said, how come radio's got such fancy graphics and TV does not?
You know?
I said, well, Duh.
We got it.
Because it's the best. North American Banking Company is here for you, your family, and also for your business. So yes, listen to me, you small business owners. Take advantage of the fine folks at North American Banking Company because since 1998, they've had one promise, and that's this. It's banking done differently. And you get that feeling that anytime you walk into any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations, whether it's Roseville, 50th in France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, and Maple Grove, you get that sense because they don't want to treat you like a number. They want to take care of you, your family, and also your business. And they offer all of the same services as the other big national banks, whether you're looking to buy a home, perhaps finance a new home renovation project, or get that new car that you've been dreaming about. Their experts are going to be able to make that happen. And here's what's also important. They are locally owned and operated. And that means loan decisions are made right here in the Twin Cities. They are not sent out of state. So this helps you business owners solve problems quickly and expand your business with confidence. So check them out online today. It's nabankco.com to learn more. Once again, it's banking done differently. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender. Johnny?
Thanks, Chris. Some breaking news, although I know we're a podcast. We don't care about breaking news, so we'll just call it news. Leading the national news, the Federal Reserve this morning lowering its benchmark interest rate by 1/4 percentage point. Its first cut since December as the U.S. grapples with the stalling labor market and slower economic growth. The Fed cut reduces the federal funds rate, what banks charge each other for short-term loans, to between 4 and 4.25%, down from its prior range of 4.25% to 4.5%. The last time the central bank eased borrowing costs in December, trimmed rates by 1/4 percentage point then also. The move comes as the Fed contends with a twofold economic challenge, curbing inflation, which has flared in recent months, while supporting job growth, which has slumped. The Fed typically seeks to tame inflation by nudging up interest rates to slow economic growth, while cutting rates in periods when the economy is faltering to encourage consumer spending and business involvement.
This is not reflected in the market today. The market's rather just poking along.
Won't that reflect it tomorrow in the market?
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Josh had a very good report today. I urge all of you to listen to it at the conclusion of today's podcast.
All right.
He discussed that, I'm sure.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. The market actually has surged just a bit, Joe. It's up to almost 500 points on the Dow, although the NASDAQ is still down, and the S&P is about even. So it's gone up a little since then, but not much. As authorities worked feverishly to find the person who shot Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University last week, the 22-year-old man now charged with the crime was texting with his romantic partner and acknowledging he was the shooter, according to court documents. Investigators say Tyler Robinson fired that single fatal shot from the rooftop of a building overlooking the outdoor venue where Kirk was speaking to about 3,000 people. Afterwards, prosecutors say he texted with the partner who he lived with near St. George, Utah. He said to look under his keyboard at their home. There was a note that said, quote, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it." After expressing shock, his partner asked Robinson if he was the shooter. Robinson responded, "I am. I'm sorry." The partner apparently never went to law enforcement with that info. Robinson remained on the run until the next night when his parents recognized he was the person in the picture released by authorities as they looked for the shooter. The partner was not named in the charging documents that contained the narrative of the shooting and were made public when authorities charged Robinson with capital murder and other counts. He could face the death penalty. Law enforcement officials say they're looking at whether others knew about or aided Robinson in the assassination. Robinson appeared briefly Tuesday before a judge by video from jail. He nodded slightly at times, but mostly stared ahead as the judge read the charges and said he would appoint an attorney to represent him. Robinson's family has declined to comment to the Associated Press since Robinson has been arrested.
I still don't know how you shoot through all those people.
Agreed.
Chris,
Noted.
yesterday.
Noted.
Yeah, I
didn't know
figured
what to say,
I better
but I would
start.
agree with that. That's almost impossible.
Nobody was saying anything. I thought I better talk. Chris, yesterday you talked about the older fella that got arrested at the shooting.
71, right?
Yeah, saying he had done it. I had not heard that. So I looked it up, and indeed you were correct. And there was more news.
Oh, that's what Chris was right about.
He was right about that. Yes,
Yeah.
Chris was right about that. The fella obviously did not think it through.
Yeah.
He is 71-year-old George Zinn, a well-known rabble-rouser who shows up to disrupt public gatherings in that area.
Gadfly. He's a local gadfly.
A scallywag.
Yeah.
He said he yelled he was the shooter because he wanted to give the actual shooter time to escape. In other words, get the police's attention, and they would arrest him.
That's criminal.
Yeah. Well,
don't worry, they found something else.
Right. That's why he got arrested.
You ain't heard nothing yet.
Yeah.
You ain't heard nothing yet. Obviously,
he's even more trouble, Rook, is what Johnny's trying to say.
I think I see what you're saying.
George apparently didn't think this through because, they're going to look at his phone, right, to see if he had any connection to the shooting.
Yeah.
And Zinn has now been charged with 4 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor.
Yep, he's
after
a bad
investigators found more than 20 images of kids as young as 5 years old, at least partially naked and posing in sexual ways.
Lock this turd up.
Zinn admitted that he gets sexual gratification from viewing and sharing child sexual abuse material images with others, and that his pervert victim ages 5 to 12 years old, according to Utah.
It's a shame he wasn't sitting where Charlie was.
No trial. Just shoot him.
Zinn is a familiar face locally. He's gained a notorious reputation in that area for showing up at events, causing a ruckus, and getting tossed out. He faces numerous trespassing arrests as a result from other past incidents. Wow. Didn't think it through, in other words.
I wonder what the sentencing guidelines are for that in Utah. Let's hope they're long.
Here he'd be back on the street in 48 hours.
He gets into prison. Don't prisoners, they really
don't like
hate
that.
Yeah, so they'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Don't you think, Johnny, too, at the same time, that this is a guy that pretty much wanted to get caught? That's what struck me about the secondary aspect of this story.
Yeah.
Maybe to put out of his porn misery?
Just to be... Why else would he have done what he did?
He's a moron.
Yeah, I think Joe's got it. I think his original... He just wasn't thinking it through, Chris. I think he's an idiot.
America's public health system is headed to a very dangerous place. This, according to the fired Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Susan Monterez. She warned senators of that at a hearing this morning. She described extraordinary turmoil inside the nation's health agencies. Monterez and former CDC Chief Medical Officer Chief Deborah Horry described exchanges in which Robert F. Kennedy Jr. or political advisors rebuffed data supporting the safety and efficacy of vaccines. Monterez, who was fired after just 29 days on the job following disagreements with Kennedy, told senators deadly diseases like polio and whooping cough, long contained, are poised to make a comeback in the U.S. She said, "I believe preventable diseases will return. I believe we will have our children harmed by things that they don't need to be harmed by." President Trump again extending the deadline for TikTok's Chinese partner ByteDance to divest the platform's U.S. operations. It's now been extended to December 16th. Trump on Tuesday signed an executive order to again provide more time to finalize the sale of the popular video sharing app following recent talks between U.S. and Chinese negotiators that led to what is apparently a framework agreement to be sold.
We got a really good email about that topic today or yesterday. And did you guys see it? I think you were included. At least Joe and Chris were. And how vastly different TikTok is in China than how it is in the rest of the world.
Yeah, they don't let their kids get exposed to it.
Well, they do, but it's a very genteel version, and it offers timeouts, and it mostly teaches kids about the great things about China and not just stupid, aimless videos and all the other TikTok nonsense.
A driver rammed a car into a security gate at the FBI building in Pittsburgh overnight, then removed an American flag from the back seat and threw it over the gate before leaving. The car crashed into the gate 2:40 a.m., according to the FBI. No explosives were found, according to the FBI. Christopher Giordano, assistant special agent in charge of the FBI in Pittsburgh, said, "We look at this as an act of terror against the FBI. This was a targeted attack in this building. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but we are going to exhaust every ability we have under federal law to find, apprehend, and prosecute the subject to the fullest extent." Giordano said he had no info on a motive. He said the FBI was familiar with the man, though, a former member of the military. Giordano said he did come here to the FBI field office a few weeks ago to make a complaint about something, but didn't make a whole lot of sense. Divers have recovered artifacts from the Titanic's sister ship, the Britannic, for the first time since the ocean liner sank in the Aegean Sea more than a century ago after hitting a mine during World War I. The Culture Ministry in Greece said Monday an 11-member deep-sea diving team conducted a week-long operation in May, recovering artifacts including the ship's bell and the portside navigation light. The White Star Line's Titanic, launched in 1914, was designed as a luxury cruise liner but was requisitioned as a hospital ship during World War I. It was heading toward the island of Lemnos when it struck a mine and sank off the island of Kea, about 45 miles southeast of Athens, on November 21st, 1916.
Do you guys know how you were able to tell the difference between the Titanic and the Brotanic? Do you know this, Joe? Do you know this story?
I don't know the Brotanic.
Well, see, in the Titanic, you had Kate Winslet being held up by Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, I remember.
Where the Brotanic was two dudes doing the same kind of pose. That was the Brotanic. You guys never saw that skit, did you?
Never saw that one.
What the hell are you talking about?
Boy, I don't know, but John, thank you very much.
Everything I've complimented you on today, Chris, I take back.
Yeah, right.
You guys never saw the Brotanic skit, huh? I'd like to hear about that, Joe.
Well, Joe, what do you got?
Joe here for the Brotanic.
Yeah, what do you got, bro?
I don't know that Bradshaw and Bryant would appreciate that.
Oh.
They're not the Brotanic.
No, they're not.
They're lawyers that you need on your team if you're ever in a car accident, injured in an accident. The insurance companies and adjusters can be difficult to deal with, so you need a team, and in steps Mike Bryant and Bradshaw and Bryant. For 6 consecutive years, Mike has been recognized as a super lawyer. He's been named among Minnesota's top 10 personal injury lawyers by Minnesota Law and Politics. That's the real deal. That's not like a fake plastic badge.
No, that's certification.
This is real, yeah. Bradshaw and Bryant hopes you're never in an accident, but if you are, call Bradshaw and Bryant at 800-770-7008 or go to minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Your case evaluation is free. And don't be part of the problem. Don't text and drive or drive distracted. That's just common sense from Bradshaw and Bryant.
Can you handle that?
You cannot stop him. He'll just make a move. Joe Souchere.
One day after the fair, when Jeff Dayton had joined us, Jeff came back here and interviewed me for his podcast.
Nice.
And I heard it yesterday. It was great.
Oh, did he leave my part in?
Yeah, you were in there.
Good.
Yep.
I don't remember being asked.
And the quality, he interviewed me on his phone.
I was going to say, what apparatus did he
It
record?
sounded like we were in a professional recording studio. Are the phones that good?
I've done that before where I was interviewed and he couldn't record over, I don't know what he couldn't do. He just said, hold your phone up. And he told me what program to open. And I just answered all his questions into my phone. And it worked out wonderfully.
Well,
Jeff Dayton's podcast is called Count It Off, and he has great musical guests. It's really, really, and you get a lot of his music.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting. It's fun. Count It Off. You can get it on Spotify, Apple, other ones. Yeah. Only because
the reason, Rook, that you weren't asked is you didn't leave the fairgrounds till about 11:30 that night.
And to be truthful, I only wandered into the room and interrupted them because I had to grab my guitar. So that's what Jeff asked me a question, and then I walked out.
I don't think any of us are envious we didn't make it on. I mean, I'm good.
Well, Kenny, one of us is.
Yeah, Rook is.
Really, Matthew?
I mean,
come on, dude.
You know?
You don't get enough mic time?
Hey, now.
Only because they come to us all the way from Sant Martí, Barcelona, Spain.
They really are on the move.
They made a move again, the Traveling Lymans. WorldwideWaftage.com. You can follow their travels. Well, it was on this day.
Joe, today is September 17th.
In 1727, René Boucher, the Sieur de la Paix, landed on Lake Pepin's western shore with plans to build a military post. Fort Beauharnois was built, and the mission of St. Michael the Archangel, the first Christian mission in Minnesota, was established on a site near present-day Frontenac. And we had a guest on the air one time telling us about the treasure hunting he's trying to do in Frontenac.
And right after that, I went and visited. Yeah. Joe, you should go down there. It's really fascinating.
I've been there many times.
Oh, I'm sorry.
On this day,
today is September 17th.
In 1885, Civil War veterans of Company B of the 1st National Volunteer Infantry Regiment formed the Last Man's Club, meeting yearly at the Sawyer House in Stillwater. They preserved a bottle of wine to be opened by the last survivor, who would be Charles M. Lockwood, the sole attendee of the 1930 banquet. Isn't that neat?
Yeah, that is cool.
I think Mary Devine has done a story on the Last Man Standing Club. Is that what it was called? Yeah, the Last Man's Club. On this day.
Joe, today is September 17th.
Well, listen to this. It was on this day in 1887 that a near riot occurred in the grandstand at the Minnesota State Fair during a Civil War reenactment. The mock battle broke all previous attendance records for a grandstand event with 80,000 people in the stands, 20,000 more on Machinery Hill. The event was fraught with fears of the grandstand collapsing, fights for seats, and injuries from the mock battle itself. Agricultural Society Secretary H.E. Hord justified the expense and chaos of the event by describing its educational value. For most of the audience, it was their first real conception of the awfulness of war. Now, wait a minute. That couldn't be the grandstand we know today. The grandstand we know today doesn't date back to 1887.
No, I think the grandstand is a Works Project Association thing.
Yeah, but
Isn't it?
Plus,
I better look it up.
Well, what kind of grandstand did they have that held 80,000 people? Holy mackerel. I know John's looking it up. On this day,
Joe, September 17th.
In 1907, Warren Burger was born in St. Paul as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. From 1969 to 1986, his major opinions would include the decision requiring President Nixon to turn over the Watergate tapes and his dissent in the Bivens case, attacking the exclusion of illegally seized evidence. And
do you have it, John?
I do.
Yes, John.
The first grandstand was built in 1885, was made of wood and double-decked. It seated approximately 12,000 people for viewing horse races on a 1-mile track. Second grandstand built in 1892. So if there were 80,000 people, they must have been all around the
just
grandstand.
on the lawn or something.
Yeah.
And then the current grandstand, 1909, not a works project.
Okay.
Unless they brought a chair to sit in.
And then finally on this day,
September 17th.
In 1961, sports related.
61.
We're in September. This would mean the Twins' first year. Vikings. No, it's Viking related.
The Minnesota Vikings football team played its first game, beating the Bears 37-13 at Metropolitan Stadium. On this day,
Well, hold on, pause. 1930s, Works Project Administration added expanded seating and exhibit space. So they were involved.
Yes, they were. Sports disappointment history on this day.
On September 17th.
The Vikings played their first ever regular season game.
I think
That's
I've heard that
listed
before.
as a sports disappointment.
Why is that?
Well, it's proven true, hasn't it?
Well, we won.
Yeah. On this day,
September 17th.
in 1978, a blown PR call in Vikes Bucks game. What's PR? Punt return? Yeah.
You'd think.
On this day,
September 17th.
1983, the Gophers lost to Nebraska 84-13.
Wow.
Nice.
That's a disappointment.
That
isn't
makes Reavers choke.
Boy, I bet
You
that
all right?
made Royce happy, huh?
Well, one of the
still
best
brings it up.
one of the best segments ever in the history of the Ride with Royce was when Pete Nigerian, who was the middle linebacker on that team,
Was
and
he?
Royce talked about that and how Pete led the team in tackles with 60 or whatever he had, but all of them were chasing the ball carrier. He never tackled anybody head on.
Sports disappointment on this day.
It was either that game or the Oklahoma game. I can't remember. Anyway, hi, September 17th.
2018. The Vikings cut kicker Daniel Carlson and replaced him with Dan Bailey.
Didn't we talk about that yesterday?
Yeah.
No,
And then finally
That
on
was
this
Gary Anderson.
on this day in sports disappointment history,
September 17th.
2020, Josh Donaldson ejected from the game after hitting a home run.
Off perk.
I wonder why he got ejected.
Because they were taunting each other, if I'm not mistaken.
No, remember he didn't like the call before he was with the Twins.
Oh, that's right.
He
Yes.
didn't like the call on the pitch, so that he hit a home run on the pitch after, crossed home plate, and came back.
That's right. You're right, Johnny.
Did something to home plate. I don't remember.
Yeah, he was either with Toronto or Oakland when he was barking at Perk.
So
yeah, you're right.
He hits a home run, but he's still sour about the previous pitch. And
You
the
know what he
call.
was? A sore winner.
Wow.
He was an odd cat, that guy.
I know race car drivers like that. They pull into victory lane and then just complain about everything, about the race they just won $25,000.
What happened? What happened?